Hello and welcome back to Ghosthunter. This is Bio Enchanted, and today we'll investigate the evil mansion. First of all, let's head down these stairs, past this curtain that wasn't there before. And this is interesting, a new character. What's she doing, I wonder? Let's follow her and see what she's doing. I love the music here, by the way. It's really tense and atmospheric. Now we're about to see what she's all about. Let's try disrupting her a little and see what happens. Yeah, I think we found what happened to those teddies from upstairs that I mentioned last video. Quite like this enemy. It's one of my favourite enemy types in the game. Colloquially I call them teddy bears, but they have an actual name that I'll go into a little bit later after the level's finished explaining its story, because it could be a little spoilery at this point, because we still don't know exactly what's going on here. But that's what the purpose of these couple of levels are, the mansions. The mansion basically, as you could probably tell from the fact that it's much bigger than it realistically should be, and it's got a lot weirder too. This is basically the conceit of these levels is that we are stripping away the layers of reality to see what's really going on at the core of this evil that's possessing the swamp. At least that's how I see it. You'll see why I say that when we get to the next stage of this part. But first of all, let's go through this area, which has some interesting mechanics to it. For example, as you notice, those teddy bear girls can flee through that green goo, and they recover fairly quickly, so you have to be kind of quick. So let's head through there and try and take her out, because we can't get through that door otherwise. And yep, she's recovered way too quickly and we can't actually do anything. I like the music in that room too. So yep, that's the trick to this area. These doors loop. But she's still tired, so we can actually take her out before she recovers by using that looping to our advantage. And that is the primary puzzle of this part of the level, is find where the doors link, and chase the girl through through her patch, and then quickly try and catch up with her via the doors and their teleporting properties before she can recover. That is our main mechanic. I quite like the way these enemies work because they're very visually interesting. I love the idea of the young girl basically pouring her entire soul into her teddy bear as kind of a deranged guardian. That works really well. It's a thematically interesting thing to happen, and adds some really interesting creepy undertones to the whole thing as well that I quite like. Careful not to trip over that tattered wallpaper there. This is just me double checking to make sure there's no ammo in here, and also just showing off the interesting patterns and everything that the lights are making and this Scarlet Rocking Horse. But yeah, I just wasn't sure if there was ammo there wasn't, so let's just move on. I like how it's just slightly out of tune music box as well. It's very generic, but it works well. So, here we go, let's go through this door now and see what lies in the next room. We'll go after her later. There's something pressing we have to deal with first. This little bastard over here. This is the second enemy of the mansion. It's related to the first enemy, as the name would imply. While those are little girls, these are little boys who are running around. And if they catch up with you, they have a nasty trick they can perform, which I'll mention when it comes up. They can be kind of dangerous, potentially. But luckily, they spend a lot of their time kind of fleeing from you and generally just being a bit of a nuisance. But as a result, they're easy to underestimate. You do not want to underestimate these kids. While the teddy bears are relatively easy to take care of, these kids can be quite nasty. But now he's taken care of. Yay. And as you may have noticed, as we take out these children and capture them, these blue torches light up. So now we can head through here and see what lies in this room. It's just a bathroom, nothing much in here but some health and some shotgun ammo, which is nice to have. And I like the tree growing out the bathtub. It's an interesting visual, even if it's kind of irrelevant to the rest of the thing. Although it is a swamp, so the entire place is pretty overgrown. In a very interesting way, I like the roots growing in from the ceiling of the place as well as the walls. It gives a very kind of interesting atmosphere. So let's chase that girl out here. This one doesn't need to take a breather, she is just ready and raring to go. Yeah, the girls can actually have varying things they say as well. Either that creepy giggle you heard just then, the laughter. I quite like that the teddy was actually dropping their stuffing as they shoot them. That's something I actually didn't notice, which is a pretty cute little animation touch. And yeah, these guys can charge at you as well, but they're not nearly as dangerous as the crocodiles about it. Yes. The other thing they can say is, "We don't want to play, Teddy will punish you." I quite like that. We'll hear that a couple of times, I think. They only have two things that they say, but I like that they have a couple of different things they can say. It gives a little something to it. So let's head through this door now. Some interesting decorations in here, that nice doily. I wasn't certain if there's anything to these bookcases. There isn't. So here we have our primary set piece of the mansion. The big room with branching puzzles. There's a small cage in the middle on the table, which is an interesting thing. And there's a small portrait, a large portrait rather. Yeah, that's the puzzle of this area. We need to find the two parts of that picture to advance. By the way, with each of the subplots of each of these areas, I will, after the areas are complete and the boss video of each area is posted, in that post I will, in spoiler tags, put a summary of all the lore that happened in that subplot, so that you all are kept up to speed on all the different themes and ideas this game uses, because some of them aren't entirely explicit. And some of them are fairly interesting, so let's see if we can work out how to, well, it's the usual way, isn't it? Get the girl to run through the green thing and then use the teleporty doors. So let's just spook her. Come on. And this spot's kind of obvious for this particular one because there's no way we're getting up those stairs in time. We already know that. So let's head through here. This one's more interesting though. It doesn't just take us to the top of the room. It takes us to this little weird side corridor, which is where she goes to rest. Now we're just trying to trigger her anger mode. Come on. It's going to be a little finicky, you just have to get close. That's the line. I do like the whole, the fact that they have that sinewy rib cage underneath their stuffing that shouldn't really be there for a teddy bear. The fact that the seams are coming undone as all over the place, not just at the bottom, but where the mouth is tearing open as well. The whole, of course, the fact that they're using the body of the little girl to bludgeon you, that's a pretty genius idea as well. It's just generally like, I saw this enemy on the box art and was like, hell yeah, can't wait to fight these. So let's finally see what, and also this door, it does not exist really. It only exists so we can get back to this room. This is particularly weird. Oh dear. A lot of little bones over here. And a lot of little skulls over here. Suspiciously small too. I wonder what exactly has been going on here. Here's what we currently know. The Oakville was populated by the people that would eventually become the Hill Folk, and DeMontford was generally kind of racist against them in the first place, despite winning the mine they worked at. And yeah, that's interesting. And the final straw happened to be when her son, I believe his name was Daniel, or David, one of those two, I think it's David, when he tried to rescue one of the Hill Folk's daughters from the crocodile and got eaten by them. she went a little bit around the bend. Blamed the hillbillies on her son's death, thinking they put their daughter in danger on purpose. And from what we know of the other hillbillies, she has at least kidnapped their daughter as of this point. That's as far as we know about the plot so far, though. But it definitely gives us food for thought on what we're seeing here. Again, I will elaborate when more information becomes available. Now the basement's dealt with, let's head up to the attic. This room doesn't have much in it, except for this kid. This is going to be us me showing off what these guys can do. Turning into these weird hurricane things that spin at you and are really annoying because they're invincible while they're spinning at you. These weird like mummy things that then shrink to their normal child forms again. The animation's actually kind of funny, but you know, it's still kind of, they're fairly hectic and dangerous to fight. Luckily I found a trick to this particular one. While you're on the stairs, he just can't get to you, it breaks his air entirely and he has no idea what he's doing. Unfortunately, there's not really anywhere else we can exploit that little glitch. It's just that one particular kid we can do that to. I just found that quite funny. I just discovered that by accident during this recording. So now we've captured him, so let's move on. Continue just looking around at this interesting little, some of it copy-pasted decor, and some of it unique, like that little changing screen over there. But there's still the generic like dolls in the case and everything like that, so there we go. Now let's head up the stairs to the attic proper. Or what's left of it, according to that. Yeah, not only is this mansion much bigger than it should be, it's also apparently missing its roof, which in reality it is not. Which is why I think the way this is meant to be proceeding is we're meant to be tearing apart the layers of reality to reveal the actual truth behind what's going on. Kind of like a Lovecraftian peeling back the layers of the veil kind of a thing. Yeah, I can't tell what's even going on with those guys, like whether they're meant to be screaming faces on the texture or a mummy, but it's definitely an unsettling texture getting a better look at it. And there's actually a second one up here to deal with, so let's deal with him too. Before we trigger her teddy bear mode, because that could be terrible if we ended up fighting two of these guys and her.
We don't want to play. Teddy, tell you what.
Luckily Teddy has to go a long way around to tell us off, so let's just quickly get as much damage as we can right now to avoid him doing anything. I do quite like the little animation touches like the stuffing falling out of the teddy bears. That is a cool thing. This game has a lot of, while not polished, it has a lot of love to it.
Yes.
Now this door's open and we can get the second painting fragment. The first one was of course in front of the skull pit from downstairs. Neglected to mention it, sorry. And that's a very weirdly coffiny looking bed, so let's just move on. May just be the art style there. I do like that the doors have been replaced by these weird curtains. It adds kind of an air of under construction to this kind of area. Like it's almost finished, but something's just getting in its way. So let us finally, now that we have those two painting fragments, we'll place them there. And we can move on to the next stage. Things back on. And now we can walk through to the mansion again. Okay, now we'll see how this is really gonna go. We have peeled back one more layer of reality, and we are coming up to the core of the madness that lies within this swamp. So let us explore this mansion again and see what else we can find within these walls. These weird, weird walls. Nothing in this room this time except for a bit of health, which is nice. The same basic decor. The rest of the mansion, however, is a different story entirely, and of course there's still nothing up these stairs, such as me showing this off. So, join me next time as we explore what the save file calls Swamp Mansion Weird. I hope you enjoyed this level, because the next one's going to get even more interesting than this one was. I will see you then.